On today's episode, we talk about one of the most important elements to make sure that you are a success in your wellness and weight loss journey. Hi, I'm Brooke Lyons. A few years ago, I lost 50 pounds and finally got my life back. I've uncovered the tools that allowed me to keep the weight off and help hundreds of my clients also lead a healthy and vibrant life. Losing weight is only the beginning, and being happy and healthy is so much more than just a number on the scale. So join me as we discover how to thrive beyond weight loss. Welcome back to Thrive Beyond Weight Loss. I'm Dr. Brooke.
And I'm Bri.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Bri and I were talking about what we wanted to discuss today, and it's always timely. Every week I feel like we have a theme that pops up from like almost everybody that we see. And a couple of weeks ago, it was really tender. In fact, go to our website and check out the blog because support is tough for people. You know, they see us having trouble. They see us struggling. And I don't know if it sometimes becomes frustrating for them because it seems like, oh, just stop eating so much. Start exercising more. Well, we know that those things don't work. But most people don't know. I was talking to a nurse yesterday, or 2 days ago, at my home. And she was like, yeah, well, I don't eat I don't eat breakfast till 3 p.m. She gets up at 6 a.m.
Wow, that's a long day.
That's a long day. But it's also like, there's so much in the diet industry, and that's why it is. It's a diet, right? It's not a long-term way to change your life. And so people get so confused about what's going to work and how their body works. And I mean, I don't know. It's a tough stuff, isn't it?
It is, for sure. And I think it's hard sometimes for people to support because I think they want to just fix you.
Yeah.
But it's not always that easy to just have a quick solution to solve all your problems. And that's not what people are looking for. It's just love, compassion, and helping you get to where your goals are.
And almost every day, I say to people, you are not broken. Like, your body is just physiologically responding to all the things that you've been doing. Like, this beautiful woman who's not eating all day long, and she's got a very strenuous job, her body's just responding because it's in stress. It's in, like, emergency mode. She's not waking up and filling it with the food that she needs or the water that she needs, and then she's not, like, sure why it's not working properly. But when we put it in those terms, that makes sense, right? Like if you didn't put gas and oil in your car, I always say this to people. So this is not a trick question. Would you put gas or oil in your car? Both. You'd never put one or the other because if you don't have gas, you're not going anywhere. And if you don't have oil, your engine's going to blow.
Right.
And but we do this to our body every day and it still performs. But we forget that. You know, it's so fascinating that if we don't get all 4 food groups, we talk about them all the time, fruit, vegetable, meat, and healthy fat. If you're not getting those components, like food is our medicine. And if you're not getting those things, you're driving without gas or oil.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not going to last forever.
Exactly.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about, we're talking about support when we were kind of like discussing what we want to talk about today. And I feel like something worthy of discussion is what I brought up before. Like when we're frustrated with somebody or we just don't know how to help them, I feel like, I don't want to pick on the men, but it's kind of like that energy of help, of like fixing the problem instead of just being like, babe, you got this. I don't know what to do. And plus
just a hug.
Yeah. And I think sometimes like Dan will offer me a hug and I'm like, I don't even want to. Like I'm just so frustrated with myself. But there was a time, I'm going to share a Dan funny, but when I was 50 pounds heavier, I got some reports back and it said obese. And like the next step is morbidly obese, right? And I'm like devastated by this news. I'm so devastated that I'm like, look, and you can see, I'm sure on my face that I was like, oh, and I'm looking for some reassurance that I'm going to be okay. And my sweet, like black and white husband was like, yeah, of course you are. But he's not mean. He's one of the sweetest guys you'll ever meet. He's just black and white. And he was like, the paper and the test says that's what it is. And so thank goodness we've been married for such a long time because I was deeply hurt right that second, but I was like, don't say those things to me. Like, remember, like, I'm a girl. And it's not because I'm weak as a girl. It's because my strength is in my compassion and my emotions. That's why we are the caregivers of our family usually, like we always have that lending ear for people and our children. But boy, have you ever heard of something like that happening before? Like,
yeah, I just think it's important for people to have empathy and understanding for what someone's going through, and you can support in a more compassionate way. And I think men sometimes struggle a little bit more with that.
Yeah.
But we also need to be accepting of the love and support as well, because sometimes we're not willing to be, like you said, I don't want to hug. Like, if they try, we have to fall into them as well. And I think it's a difficult situation a lot of times, especially when you're in a close relationship with a loved one. Because you probably wouldn't have, if a friend offered you to hug, you'd probably be like, oh, okay.
Right.
So I don't know, it's like a dynamic sometimes between in a close relationship with your significant other that we struggle with those things.
That's such a great point. And there's so many more, like, it wasn't just that comment. It's like whatever had happened the week before and the days before, right? Like, being this feminine energy, it's tough. Like,
it is. Emotions.
Man, and just like being at work and being in control of all the things in life.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, I think everything's changing, but I know I can only speak for my relationships, but like for me, it's like if we go away, I'm taking care of all the things. Like if the garbage is out, I'm the one saying, come on, everybody, get the garbage out, so we don't come back to all the stink and stuff. So there's just so much more pressure I put on myself, but that's the key words. Like, I put that on myself. What if I trained my family that this is the checklist? We use it every single time. We used to have a checklist. And I was like, everybody needs 5.
Right.
Do 5 of the things, check them off so that I know they're done. So sometimes it's just like shaking it up a bit. We were talking about, there was somebody in our life a long time ago, and I remember we were sitting around the pool, and their whole family kind of has maybe a weight issue. I don't know quite what it is. But anyways, he was telling the story, and he was very passionate about it and very proud of himself because his sister is very large, like 300 pounds and 5'2". Their family is all kind of shorter. And he was so proud of himself because he called it her come to Jesus. On the weekend, he had a come to Jesus meeting with her and told her that she is too fat, it has gone on too long, and she has got to change everything. And in my life, I've learned to just kind of listen. And the problem is most women were feeling what she was going through as he's having this proud moment of telling her the what's what. And I was like so nauseated from my fingers to my toes. Like, and he thought he was doing the best thing for her. Like, she just wasn't making it work. And he was going to tell her that it was time.
Yeah, berating someone isn't always the best.
Gosh. And he didn't know any other way, but I think it's like this men and women thing. Like, we really, truly are different. And it's not a bad thing. It helps us have strength and compassion and all the different things. But I found, and I've read, that men usually, if they're going to ask for advice, it's because they're ready for the answer. Like, guys don't go to guys going, oh my gosh, I had blah, 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 and this is going on, blah, blah, blah. For a listening situation, they're like, if I'm telling you this stuff, it's because I want the answers. But we don't.
Logical creatures.
The logical creature, yes. And we are also logical, but in a very different way. Like,
when it comes to approaching emotions, I think they sometimes are more logic, and their approach can be more harsh in ways because they want to solve the problem.
Not harsh to the guys, but just harsh for the girls.
We need more tenderness.
We do. And gathering, I always say we have this option of every month you can hop on a phone call that everybody's on. And I always say to the women, don't worry if I'm on the call, because I will never be offended if you have asked me a question and you have asked her the question too, because we are gatherers. That's my husband's probably most frustrating thing about me is, like, one week I'll ask him and he'll give me his very best answer because that's what they're there for. Well, not that what they're there for, but that's how they do it. They give me the best answer. And then 2 weeks later, I'm like, hey, I decided to blah, blah, blah. And he's like, but I told you that 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, yay, thank you. But it wasn't mine yet. It was yours. And I needed to ask a bunch of different people and do some research so that I could make the little tweaks to fully feel it myself. And so that's like, thank goodness I kind of knew that. But if you don't know that about your relationship, sometimes we're just like, he's so mean. He's not meaning to be mean. He loves you and he's trying to be supportive. Right. It's just not the way it is. A couple of weeks ago, every client we had come in, I feel like, probably not all of them, but so many were just like feeling unsupported at home.
Right. And that's, I mean, no offense to men, but that's their job and their journey too, is to, if you're going to be in a relationship, especially with a woman or another human being for that matter, to learn to be more compassionate.
Yeah.
I know culture, sometimes we raise men and boys differently, but we're all humans and we all need more support and compassion. I think that's something that can be learned for sure.
Yep. And practice.
It takes time.
Practice.
Practice.
Yeah. I get myself into tizzies about that stuff too, because sometimes like we get busy and so we go into this, maybe not unnatural, but I'm going to say it that way, like unnatural male way of doing things. And then all of a sudden we're like, wait a minute, I feel so disconnected in my body. But that's going to be another episode because last week, we'll talk about that. Last week, everybody was getting, like, it's not about a diet. They were finding themselves again through their Body Battle program. Yes. And that's cool. So we'll talk about that in another episode. But if you're in a relationship, just remember that everybody's doing the best that they can.
And don't be afraid to ask for your needs to be met. I think sometimes we like expect people to know how to approach us, and you know, it's okay to be like, this is how I like to, you know, teach them too, and vice versa. Like, it's okay to ask for things.
Indeed, we kind of have to, because we're changing too. In 25 years being with my husband, more than that now, like, we're not the same people as we were back then. Thank God. Right. But things have changed, and we've grown and matured, and now we're really maturing. But it makes it's almost like we don't check in. We just keep on going. And then we look back one day and we're like, where on earth did I go in all of this? But, you know, we do treat people, but we teach people how to treat us. And if you're finding in your life that maybe people aren't treating the way that you want them to, it's just time to change the story. It's time to change the dialogue. And the problem is, this is why we like to hit the stuff before you're feeling it or as you're feeling it, because the worst thing we can do is be like, there's something wrong with you. Like, why do you treat me this way? You're so mean. When we get into that complaining mode, they shut down because then we sound like we're blaming them. And legit, they might be doing something that's hurting our feelings. It's true. But think of it yourself. Like, if they were all of a sudden hitting you with a bunch of emotions, we just feel that, like, and then we shut down ourselves because, we did something wrong. And feeling like you did something wrong just never brings us to, well, I guess it brings us to a new understanding if we choose that. But usually we're just hurt and we digress and we regress.
Right.
Or we bark.
Yes. And it's important to find community even outside of your close relationships. And like with our Thrive Beyond Weight Loss, like our group, and don't be afraid to reach out to people, girlfriends, you can get support from lots of different people besides just your significant other, because
absolutely
like-minded people or people that are going through the same journey as you is very helpful.
Absolutely. And that's our Facebook page, Thrive Beyond Weight Loss with Dr. Brooke Lyons. And it's not all people who have taken a Body Battle program. It's just a community of people who are trying to do better every day. And we don't talk clinical things on there because that's like a breach of like what we want to have. It's just too unsafe because
people
everybody's
are doing personal, like, family photos, just introducing themselves. But it's amazing. I think it's helpful for people to be like, I'm not alone. Like, there's another woman that's like my age going through the same thing, or like, and you can just relate. And I think that's
special.
In my opinion, anytime I've been struggling with something, when I find someone else, like when I was raising young kids with issues, like, it just helps so much. You feel like you're not alone.
That's such a thing, feeling like you're not alone.
Yeah.
It's a giant planet with people all the way around, everywhere. But we do feel so alone sometimes. And it's always surprising to me when you start, well, actually, it's fun being in practice because very often when I start feeling stuff, I'm not even quite understanding what that is yet. And then everybody that week will talk about it. They talk about like energy in practice sometimes, about how like if you have something going on, you will help everybody else with that in the week, and they will help you. It's true in practice. Like, it's funny.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it is. It's fun. So not always fun in a good way. Sometimes fun in oh my gosh, yeah.
Ironic.
I must be dealing with something because that keeps coming back to me. So, but the journey is not, to be taken alone. And if, not all people that are in our household are needing to do these things yet, although I would say they all need to eat healthier, because this is like a program that just has breakfast, lunch, and dinner with real food. So if they're not doing that, they will come to a time where they're bloated and they don't feel good and all the things, but we can't convince anybody else what to do.
Right.
If you're doing it, it's okay that you're the only one doing it. That happens a lot in families and relationships and stuff. So just keep to what you know is true. If you're bloated, if you're not feeling good, then you don't want to feel that way. And maybe when you start to change the things and they see how easy this is, like, we live this way. And it's easy, right? Like, this was a holiday weekend that just passed, and I'm sure we both ate some stuff that was not, healthy for our body, but we know how to come back from that.
Yeah.
And so just learn those tools, because you can do this. You're not going to be alone. You're never alone. Just reach out to the people that give you the support and love that you need. So, well, on that, I think we're going to conclude the episode.
Okay.
So thank you so much for joining us on Thrive Beyond Weight Loss. Join us for other episodes so that we can help you remember who you are and find, the things that work for you. So if you're at a point where you're looking for some extra support in your weight loss and your health journey, just go ahead and pop on mybodybella.com for more information.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on the Thrive Beyond Weight Loss podcast belong solely to the host and guest speakers and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any associated organizations or health professionals. The content provided is for informational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider with any questions regarding a medical condition or health objectives.